Hey, look, another live stream.
Hello, everybody. Hi, and welcome to our second Overwatch developer live stream. Happy to have you all here. And yes, as previously mentioned, indeed we are live. So for anybody
I thought
that
this
was
was going to
asking,
be
are
in a
we?
studio like last time,
Yes, we are.
but it's not.
Right now, our community team wanted to take a second to say thanks for coming by. Ready to talk mythics, mythic skins, all that good stuff. But I just want to take a second and introduce our host for today's stream, which is not me today. It is going to be the amazing and undeniably talented Overwatch tech artist, Ana Martinez. So, without more ado, I am going to throw it over to the studio.
Oh, it is a
and
studio.
Ana there,
Thank goodness.
Will be able to introduce everybody else.
I don't mind this type of setup, but I'd rather have studios.
Hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching, and welcome to the Overwatch 2 Developer Livestream July Deep Dive. It's a bit of a long name, it's maybe still in progress, so we can just call it the July Deep Dive. Megan already kind of introduced me, but I'll do a bit of a formal introduction in a couple minutes. But hi, my name is Ana, I'll be your host for today, and I think we can just kind of get straight to it. So on our last live stream, we had Megan, Alec, and George talk about map voting, map rework, and new maps coming into the game.
Really great
now,
stuff.
for today, we'll be talking about something a little different, and I hope you're all excited about that.
Season 18
Today,
stuff
we'll be
we know for
talking
sure.
about Mythic skins, more specifically, Season 18 Mythics, or the one Mythic that we have for Season 18. We're going to be going over every single step that goes into making a Mythic, from the beginning, ideation and concept, to when it actually gets to your hands, to the players. We're very, very excited
Is
to be
this
talking
teasing
about
that it's a Lucio because they have a Lucio
just talk about
character
the
right there on the table?
Three of us, the very lovely people that we have here right now, are artists like myself. And
have three
just me
Winstons.
talking about this stuff might be a little boring, so that's why that's why they're here with me.
And they have,
so if you guys would
a
please
Sojourn
introduce
doggo.
yourselves, say something fun. I don't know. Your name, what do you do, something cool that you worked on in the team, and who your main is in Overwatch.
My name is Angelica Silva. I am an associate VFX artist, and I was the Mythic artist for the Mythic that we're talking about today. I also worked on Doki Watch Juno. I'm the one that gave Juno the heart ring.
That's a great
and
Mythic.
I main Junkrat. I'm a stinky little Junkrat.
Oh, does that mean we're getting Junkie?
I'm Dion Rogers, the art director for Overwatch.
I love Junkrat. Please tell me yes.
Reinhardt is my main. He's one of my favorite characters in the game. And I worked on the lighting for Hanamura. It's one of my favorite maps that I worked on Overwatch 1 a long time ago. So it was nice to see the update with the Hanaoka Clash version of
I'll say
Hakamura
is way better than
this thing. But currently, the games I'm playing is Expedition 33. Enjoy that game very much.
I'm also playing Expedition 33.
Oh,
I think I forgot to say that.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask that anyway.
Oh, okay.
that was a follow-up question.
Yes.
You guys, you're going off the script. By the way, this is live. There's not really a script. We're just kind of talking. But I was going to ask you guys, what are you playing? So Expedition 33.
Yes. Knee deep in this game. Love it very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're also playing Expedition 33?
I am, yeah. I'm only in the beginning though, so
No
not very far. No spoilers,
No
please.
spoilers. No
Yes.
spoilers. And as a quick kind of fuller introduction, my name is Ana Martinez. I'm a character technical artist on the team. I've worked on a bunch of stuff over the years, legendaries, mythics, and heroes. My favorite thing to have worked on is not released yet, so unfortunately I can't talk about it. But my second favorite thing is just every mythic that I've worked on. I am a part-time talker, as you can tell. I'm a full-time annoying Lucio main. That statue over there is mine. It's stuff like that, so that everybody
Lucio or
remembers who I
Junkrat.
am,
We're gonna get
which
one or the
everyone on
other.
The team does
Like-
if I only play Lucio
Ugh.
and Zenyatta. And I'll be your host for today. So thank you for being here with me, guys, today. So I'm not just by myself talking about
Thank
stuff.
you,
I hope we.
So
they're
I
talking about
think
the
we can
Mythic
just get
gun
right
and
to it.
the
So,
skin, because there's
as
two
we said
Mythics
before,
per season.
we're talking about the Season 18 Mythic, which I don't think we've shared much about.
Yeah, I don't think
so
we know
right
it at
now
all.
we're going to be sharing a lot more about. You guys are going to get a pretty unique look into this Mythic specifically because we'll be talking about how it was made, which we don't really get to do often on our regular, dev update formats or our director's stakes on our weekly recall. We've really looked forward to doing these sorts of things because everyone in the art team is always itching to talk about art.
And we need to do it more.
And we need to do it more.
Yeah.
We're always like,
Yeah.
let's just talk. Like we talk so much amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
And there's so much that we would love to share with
I
everybody
mean,
that
I would love
now
more
that
of
we get the
these, but if
chance,
it's just
we'll try to keep it brief.
about a
We'll try to
Mythic
keep it
skin,
short. But if we don't, we
that
have
doesn't
we have
sound
the
that
people
great.
that
They need to
are
have, like,
behind the
3
camera.
different
They're
things.
very, very nice folks that are keeping us on time. So let's get right to it.
Yeah, hopefully no more than 20 minutes.
So for the Mythic reveal, I think I'll throw it to Dion. Please go ahead and
So
share.
the next Mythic will be Sojourn.
Sojourn, okay.
We got
Alright.
some pictures. There you go. There she is.
Beautiful.
Beautiful skin that the team worked on. The name is the,
Ultraviolet Sentinel.
yeah. So
Ultraviolet.
a lot of fun
Sentinel.
working on this one, and we're here to talk about all the details that went into it.
Yeah. So I think we can start with kind of the idea of the theme. So we have a hero, we have a theme. How do we get to what we're going to do for a Mythic?
Okay, usually we start with, like with any hero, it's about the fantasy of the hero. Like, what's it like to play this hero? What are their powers and things that go into it?
I know
So
people
with,
were
Sojourn, she's
upset
like
that
this
Junker
awesome
Queen and
heroic
Kiriko
leader
both got
in the team. She's got an
Mythic
amazing
skins.
railgun.
Sojourn didn't because they all
She's kind of
came
a railgun fantasy
same
for the
time
game for
in
all the
season
Quake
1,
fans
so
and things out there.
Finally,
And so we
they
thought
gave it
about,
to Sojourn, so
What's
much
the
appreciated.
maximum version of her fantasy if we were to elevate it? She's half cyborg. If we were to push that even further than we did with the base hero, what could that look like? And so we pass this over to the concept art team, and they start to ideate on this. So the ultraviolet Sentinel is the kind of the fantasy of Sojourn pushed to its maximum. You know,
Pretty much what they did
beautiful,
with Honor,
gorgeous
completely robot.
cyborg
Yeah,
with an amazing railgun.
Totally. What made you
It makes it look like she's
forward to
wearing
working
more
on
of a
the
suit.
skin the most, like for both of you?
Oh man. Honestly, probably just like the VFX in general, the concept.
Can we see more images of
Yeah, can we see
Sojourn?
more?
Yeah, I think we can start putting maybe the concept for the skin maybe on screen so that everybody can see it.
Yeah.
But you can keep talking about like,
Yeah, I think just the VFX in general, like the concept artist.
Oh, that's some
Angela
pretty cool
Song
hair.
Killed it.
She crushed
like,
it.
Shout out
she
Angela.
Crushed it.
Wow.
And it was just at first glance, I was like, oh my gosh, like I cannot wait to work on this. Like I have so many ideas running through my
Holy
head.
cow,
The
I love
colors
that
are so
hair.
fun and vibrant. And yeah, I just couldn't wait to just like make Sojourn look even more awesome than she already is.
Yeah.
Oh
But-
my
Yeah,
gosh.
this is the
That's
final
concept?
concept where we landed with her.
Holy cow.
So you have this nice, beautiful pearlescent material on the
That looks so good.
white parts of our armor. The cool kind of ethereal, what is it, the VFX?
Yeah, it's just, yeah, like the emissive, like this,
Mm-hmm.
like the the ethereal emissive glow.
Yeah. When you think about Sojourn and when you think about the theme that we landed on with her, what do you, when working on her, what did you want to highlight about her the most?
Just how powerful she is, how cool she is. Like, I think that I
Oh,
wanted
you
her
know
to
what?
look really
It kind of went the
cool.
Zarya direction. I didn't even
Really
think about
strong. Like, I want players to feel like they're this like Sentinel cyborg superhero.
that.
Like,
It's kind of
Like
like how
Ultraviolet
Zarya's
Sentinel.
design
yeah.
is.
And that was just my main goal throughout the whole process of designing her kit for her VFX. I just want players to feel like the fantasy that we want Sojourn to have.
I like how it feels like there's these neural implants on her, almost obviously a very cyberpunk or feeling to it. It just boosts the cyborg layer of her even more.
Totally. Totally. So I think something fun that I figured we could do is to go like I said in the intro, through every
Different
single step
hairstyles?
of the Mythic
Or
development process.
is this
So
them trying to
making a Mythic
figure out what
requires
hairstyle they
a
want to
bunch
give
of
her?
people, and it requires a bunch of
Because
time.
that
We couldn't
that
really fit
flowing
everybody
one
that
that's
worked on the
over
Mythic in
is
this
way
room
better.
because it
We
would
would
be
need a lot of couches.
we would need a whole lot of couches. So to keep things kind of concise, we're
So
here
the
and
one on the far
we're
left.
kind of representing everyone else that worked on. We are going to be talking about the art side of Mythic development since we are, well, artists. And for everybody that worked on the Mythic that is not here, I have here in my handy dandy tablet some little details, little tidbits of information of their respective parts of their development that I will be reading out as proxy. So to kind of outline what we're going to be talking about today is that we can kind of divide the art side of Mythic development in 8 very large steps or pillars. And in order-ish, kind of, sort of, we'll go into that a little bit later. We can see it as the first step is the ideation and concept art.
Yeah.
Second step is the narrative design, the fantasy of the hero. The third step is a 3D model. Fourth step is tech art. Fifth step is animation. Sixth step is VFX. Seventh step is audio design. And eighth step is polish and QA. And QA stands for quality assurance, which is all the folks that help us make sure that there's no funky stuff happening when we actually launch it into the game. And between all those steps, there's a lot of support that we receive from tools,
Right.
from engineering. Honestly, they are the real heroes of this
Yeah.
story. Without engineering and all our friends and coworkers that work on like our engine and tools and everything, we would not be able to do anything. So shout out engineering. And there's a lot of people that work after that to, bring all stuff like this, like the live stream, together. So I think we can jump into the first step, which is ideation and concept art, which we've already covered a little bit, and you can see on the screen. So concept art goes through a lot of changes from when we decide on a theme and then when we get to the final. How do you decide, oh, this is it? Like, this is the final thing that we're going to be going for?
And the concept art team is amazing. We do drawings first because 3D, it gets a little bit more expensive. It's
Right.
harder to
Exactly.
undo some of the work once we get into 3D. So we do a lot of 2D sketches first, as you guys know, to see lots of ideas quickly. Sometimes we focus on humorous ideas, or we might go for more fun ideas, or this one we want to drive the fantasy more. So we settled on, for Sojourn, is let's push the cybernetic warrior fantasy that she is. And we continue to draw from there. And so things we think about are the colors that represent the character,
Yeah.
what makes it unique compared to the base hero. And so once we start to see designs like this, so this was one of the sketches that's on screen now, that we
And this is
saw
the
and it
best
felt,
one.
okay, there's something here, this kind
Yeah,
of
the hair, the
saturated
style.
colors that was in her, accent colors on her hair, but then the sleek body armor felt like the right thing to drive into more. But the tone of Overwatch is a pretty bright world, so this was one of the selections. So we decided, like, oh, what's it look like if we went even brighter with the hero, and that what led to the second concept. Not the second one, but one of the iterations that she's in that white armor. Maybe we can show that one on screen currently.
Yeah, this one. This one's insanely
keeping
good.
the tone of Overwatch, this bright.
I mean, I'm not a big
hopeful
fan
world.
of the
What
back
is this
thing
elevated
going
version
that
of
direction,
her, if she was,
but
you know,
dude, this is
set in
phenomenal.
the world of Overwatch, obviously. And so that's why we went with this more bright look. And I think Angelica had the cool ideas with the VFX. There's a bit of the
Yeah, those effects are
like
insane.
electronic dance music kind of feel
A
to
little
it.
bit, yeah. Like I really wanted to lean into that like techie, like you see the little square techie bits. Like I
Yeah.
really wanted to lean into that with her kit, because like, well, Overwatch has a lot of squares, like little square stuff, like in the UI and like just in general. It's pretty common to see in the shape language for Overwatch, but I don't think I've necessarily used like square bits. Like we
Yeah.
call them motes, like the little like tertiary bits that you would see on an effect, like we call them motes.
Kind of like little pieces of fire.
Yeah, like embers.
Yeah.
And in this case, in the concept, you can see those little squares.
yeah.
I was like, I really want to lean into that. And the thing that I was also excited about is you notice that a lot of her stuff is two-toned. And the way that I guess the way we color things, like we usually use a grayscale and we would, I guess, put like it's called a color ramp over it. And it's a gradient. So getting this like graphic two-toned color was a little bit of a challenge, but it was so satisfying. It was something I was looking forward to when I saw the concept. I was like, I can't wait to get this like two-toned, like blue, purple, and this beautiful magenta.
So technically, the actual brunt of the VFX work comes a little bit later down the pipeline.
It does.
How are you as a VFX artist interacting with the concept art team on a Mythic?
It really depends on the Mythic. Sometimes I don't get in until like after the concepts are done, but sometimes I'm lucky enough to be able to get in as they're like designing the VFX.
Which is,
in
really
Sojourn's
depends.
case, Angela had already done the VFX, but our amazing, talented concept artist that she is, like the VFX look great. Do we have the VFX concepts that we could show? It'd be.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, if not, I can explain in the best way that I can. But she went with a very graphic look, very 2D, very graphic. Overwatch uses a lot of like 3D models, something that's like very fleshed out, and this time around it was just very graphic, and that's something that we don't usually get to lean in on too much. And so. When I
More
saw
like
that
a
Angela had
Hanzo
already done that, I was
skin?
like, oh, wow, same page. We're on the same page. For Juno, I was in there early enough to work with the concept artist on her.
For Juno's Mythic.
For Juno's Mythic, yeah. And that we had a little bit more back and forth when she was designing the VFX for it.
For Doki Watch, right?
For Doki Watch, yeah. And we were able to like go back and forth with her and like let her know like, oh, this is actually how the ability works in the gameplay, like her torpedoes, for example. We're using, I believe, like 2 different shapes in the concept for her muzzle flash, but we had to let her know like, oh, actually they're gonna have to be the same. And also like it works like this and like that.
See,
and then she
I
was able to
all
go in and
these-
fix that. And it
all
gave
these
us a really good
effects
baseline.
look so great on the skins too.
To start with.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that
what I love
hair and that
about,
mask is
Mythic skins.
perfect.
You get a chance to revisit the VFX in a way, right?
Yeah.
Nearly all the VFX
Yeah.
for a hero.
I guess it
absolutely.
depends on
The
what
primary
armor type
fire
she
to
has.
their
You
ambient
could do that
effects.
too.
Oh yeah. No, like we touched the whole kit.
Yeah.
We'll go into every single effect when we get to effects.
Yeah, okay.
Pause.
I gotta wait. I gotta be
Pause. You gotta
patient.
wait a little bit. So speaking of Angela, she had a couple of things to share with everybody
I
about
like that
when
one
she
a lot,
was
too.
designing her. So I'll read as if I was her.
Reminds me
So
a lot
imagine
of
I'm her.
somber stuff too.
I think from my POV, when I was designing her, I envisioned her as a stunning yet powerful being. So she had a short description on her concept as she was designing her to kind of have an idea of what to aim for. Sojourn chose the only path she knew. The transformation was more than metal and wires. Neural uplinks sharpened her reflexes beyond human limits. Its energy flowing through her like a second heartbeat. She's faster,
Yeah, see,
stronger,
they did
but
the
the line
Zarya
between
effect.
human and machine blurred with every upgrade. She fights not just to win, but to prove one thing. She is not just a weapon, she's Sojourn.
Yeah, I love it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
Sojourn.
gosh. She is such a cool character, man. Oh
I
my
love
wanna
how
see more
artists get
in-game
really
stuff.
into it.
Like,
yeah,
I like the
yeah.
concept
After
art,
she sent
but-
me a message, she was like, "This might be a little too dramatic," and I was like, "No,
No,
it's perfect. It's
not.
perfect."
It's perfect.
So
yeah.
I think that's a good point to jump to narrative, which shout out Jude Stacy was the narrative designer for this
Storyline
Mythic specifically.
with the skins
So I
are very
think
important.
before talking about narrative for our sides, I would love to read the little blurb that will accompany her on the hero gallery, if I may.
Yeah.
So this will be the little text that will be
Can
on
you
her
show
hero
the
gallery.
3D model?
Yeah. Oh, maybe we can
Not
show
yet.
the 3D model when we get to the model, which is like the next step.
Okay.
But just kind of to get an idea of what you're going to see in the model. So Jude Stacy leaned more into the over-the-top superhero. So the blurb is, Sojourn is a hero already, but she's pretty modest and focused on the job. And oh wait, no, this is not the blurb. Sorry, this is a little description. Sojourn is a hero already, but she's pretty modest and focused on the job, and has a military background that keeps her grounded. So when the Mythic was like, how do we take the visual cyber fantasy of Sojourn and turn it up? Narrative did the same, angling for a version of Sojourn that is outwardly super heroic and ready to stand as not just a leader, but like a symbol of hope for
She got the angry Winton.
So I'm curious about something, Dion. When working on a Mythic, from the ground up, when does narrative work on kind of the fantasy first and then concept gets involved, or is it concept and then narrative kind of builds from that concept, or do they happen at the same time?
Right. We started this back in October, right?
I think so, yeah.
Back in October last
It's been a while.
year.
It's been a long time.
Oh, wow.
They've been working on this
Actually,
since
any idea
October
on the team
last
can come
year.
from anywhere. So
Wow.
sometimes it might start with a concept art,
Which
sometimes
makes
it may come
sense.
from a
It
narrative
takes a
person. Or it might
long
come from
time
any
to
of you guys with the
create that
idea.
type
So
of stuff,
this one in particular, we
especially when you
started to
have
draw the
multiple
coolest
projects
thing
going
first,
on,
you know.
but-
And so once
Wow.
we settled on what she potentially could look like, then we start to share it downstream to like narrative team or others. But I don't think there's a set path for how we come up with the idea. Anyone on the team can
Yeah.
just walk in the room
You
and
gotta
say, I
imagine
got an
sometimes the
idea.
copy of
I
readers,
have
they're
$1
like,
billion
oh, we want to do it
Right.
now.
ideas. So
No,
we're
let's
gonna
push it
have
back a
such a
few
great time.
seasons. 'cause,
Angela Song,
You know,
who did the concept art, yeah.
like, I
it's
can understand that happening,
generally
too.
her
Yeah.
idea. So she
Shout out Angela.
she
October
crushed
is
it. So
crazy.
Shout out Angela.
it drove a lot of the decisions after
I
we
hope
saw
you're watching it. We're talking really nice things about you.
after she completed the concept art.
Yeah.
That-
It's like, well, okay.
That drove a lot of the decision making.
Yeah. I mean, when you have a cool idea, you build from that idea.
Yes, right.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. So now I think the next step that I said will be modeling, and I think now we can jump to the 3D model, and I can read the little blurb that we have for it. So if we could show kind of like in the hero gallery, kind of like the little.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Look at her. So
Was that one of her hairstyles?
in a fallen future without heroes, there was only one who could rise up against the specter of war.
Yeah, you
Using
can see the
cutting-edge
little
cyber-like
squares.
tech, Sojourn transformed herself into the ultraviolet sentinel, a shining figure that inspired others to join the fight.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh my god, that's so cool.
Her gun doesn't do it.
Megan.
If it
Yeah,
does,
Megan
it's very
Stewart, yes.
subtle.
I would
Oh yeah, it does
join
do it on her gun.
Yeah, I would join her.
I would
too.
fight alongside her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Megan Stewart. She did the model.
Shout out Megan Stewart.
Beautiful,
wanna see that other
talented,
hairstyle.
amazing
First
Megan
First
Stewart.
Mythic, first
Uh-huh.
Mythic, Megan's first Mythic. Shout out Megan.
Killed it.
Great
It's
job.
Absolutely
so good.
killed it. Oh my gosh.
Do we have a zoomed out of her?
Yeah. Could we have kind of like a
Yeah, kind of
like the full
rotation.
body? I think we have the video. But in the meantime, we can start talking about kind of what modeling
Jeez.
is. So after we
Yeah,
have
there's
the
another
concept,
hairstyle.
like the finalized
And this is
concept, our modeling artist
this is a different
can
tier
start,
because it doesn't have the effects,
grabbing that and
but it still has that neck
and
thing.
then the character starts taking shape in a 3D space,
my
3D model, and all
gosh,
that stuff.
dude.
So when
This is beautiful.
we have a 2D design, transforming it or kind of translating it in a way into 3D.
Holy cow.
Are there any changes that we would ever make when maybe something looks cool in 2D but it doesn't work in 3D?
Sometimes you can do things in 2D that's just really difficult to
Yeah.
achieve in 3D, and
Absolutely.
there's a bit more stylization to
Is
the
that
character
pink?
in
Oh my
2D
gosh.
than versus 3D.
That mask does kind of look weird on her.
But I think
on
3D
her
also
eyes, not on
showcases
her
better
mouth.
is the material quality of things. For example, our armor looks a lot more pearlescent. You can see the essence of it in the 2D drawing. But once we get into the game engine and we're able to play with the shaders, we're able to really push this kind of a nice pearl look within her
I
armor.
love this pink one.
The carbon fiber parts in kind of the negative space between her legs and
Totally.
the joints of her powers, and even her hair having this nice soft.
They probably
look to
didn't
it.
change her legs much too, because she already
That's
has.
what's fun about actually translating
cyber
the 2D
legs,
to 3D.
so they wanted,
You
like,
really start to
do
get
her
the
upper body
volume
more.
of the shapes, and it comes to life in this way. And then VFX, you see them animated, right?
Yeah.
You start to see how the VFX will feel, or how the motion will be. I really love this color too. On
Yeah,
her,
that color is so cool.
Yeah, I think all the colors
that
are good. This
specific
black color is
hairstyle
nice
and the
too.
color are probably my favorite combination. Like, oh my god, it's
I think this colorway was my favorite one to work on
It
for
is-
her ambient.
it is
was
so cool.
so fun.
So Angelica, for still VFX technically doesn't fully get involved, but when you're working with modeling, are there any like parts of the model that you request something different that they do?
Yeah, so if we can, I guess this is okay too,
Is there
to
a
look
VFX
at.
version of this?
But you see her collar, and in the, oh, this is perfect. Yeah, so like this is her final leveled up look with the VFX. So when Megan is modeling and she's in low poly, that's when I would go to her and I'm like, hey, we're gonna need meshes.
Well, this isn't the
for
final. This would be second.
coattails to work on, and her collar.
I think.
And
I'm not sure.
it's a
But
little
either way,
hard to
this
see
is so
because
cool.
it's zoomed out, but there's also meshes on her left shoulder, and there's also meshes on her right shoulder with the like wires going over into her arm.
That's so cool.
That has the same type of noise and like erosion that you see on the coattails and on the collar. And like that's when we would talk about like, okay, like we need meshes for this. She asked if
And
I
they
needed meshes
also kind of did the tracer effect too with
Sojourn's like
you know how
flares
like
on her
tracer
on her
blinks
legs,
with
and
their
this time I
so
told her,
aviator
like, I
skin
told her no, like
with
you
the
know that's
scarf
something that we can handle ourselves.
They do the same
but,
thing with her when she does the sliding with the
when
thing
you're
on her back.
when modeling's in the low poly phase, that's when you want to let them know like what kind of meshes you would need for VFX, because then they can keep into account like poly count. They could take it to high
Jeez,
poly,
dude.
and like they know it's there, and
those
it's
colors are
easier
so
to add it in
beautiful.
early than add it in late.
To add a little clarity, by the way, for the folks watching, on Overwatch, the modeling team kind of divides the stages of working on a model in kind of bite-sized-ish parts. When we tech artists get involved in the process, or at one point in the model, sometimes things might not work in 3D, so there needs to be a lot of changes sometimes to be made. In that case, the modeling team works on the 3D equivalent of like a sketch that can be quick and easy to kind of edit in case we need any changes, so that they don't spend months and months and months working on something and then they give it to the next person in the pipeline and it's like, oh, this doesn't work.
This, yeah.
Yeah, which would suck. It would not be super great if we needed to do that. So they work on kind of like the sketch version of the model. Then we see how it works in game. We see if it works well. We see what works. We see what doesn't. And then when everybody says yes to it, then it goes to kind of the more of the final look. And that takes a long time between the beautiful meshes or the beautiful kind of parts of the character that you see in the game, and the beautiful textures and everything else. That goes through a lot of kind of filters between a lot of people, including us tech artists, that we say yes or no. We'll go into a little more detail on like what exactly tech art does when in regards to Mythics or skins in general. But what Angelica was saying on low poly,
I'd love to see more of the gun.
In few words,
honestly.
it's kind of like if you take the sketch that you did of an illustration and then you start adding like the final touches, like the colors, I don't know, line art, or like whatever else, whatever whatever kind of art that you're working on. In those stages, it's a little harder to make changes, so that's why we make sure that everything is good on the sketch part.
Yes, right.
We make sure that as many things as possible are good on the sketch part, because afterwards changing it might be very difficult.
Time-consuming,
Yeah, very time-consuming, time that we might as well spend on something else, a little more productive.
Making more Mythics.
And once we get more into more of a deep dive on the VFX part, I can go into how, at least for VFX, that's not necessarily the case all the time.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
But I can go more into that.
Yeah. Pause. Not yet. Pause.
Gotta stop yapping.
But yeah, that's basically what kind of she was talking about between low poly, high poly, and blockout. In very few words, explaining the ins and outs of modeling might be. I wouldn't be the best person because I'm not a modeler. But maybe in the future we can talk a little bit more about it. I was gonna ask something else. Oh, so I have some more tidbits of info about the skin from Megan Stewart. Shout out Megan. I hope you're watching too.
Shout out Megan.
Sojourn in general has a lot of moving pieces that pop out and animate, so learning what all moves and how it moves was something I definitely had to keep an eye out for when modeling.
She's a mobile hero.
Her arm mechanics, for example, are so much more complex than it seems.
Yeah.
At her armor's level 3, one of her forearm panels remains slotted open with a cable that connects it to her internal forearm mechanics. This was interesting to test because it leaves those internal mechanics exposed and still opens further during her animations. This skin in particular has so many different pieces that made her textures and material super fun to work on. A lot of the armor uses some cool material breakups to give it a pearlescent sheen effect. I used the combination of creating a hybrid material that also layers our clear coat shader on top to change how the light bounces off the surface. The cables use a VFX shader that has scrolling emissive color. One of my favorite parts for this skin is probably how her eye color changes for the color variations too.
Oh, yeah,
I think
nice.
a chunk of the second part might be a lot to, to take in if you're not familiar with like 3D texture kind of lingo. But something that I can also speak on the tech art side is that Sojourn has a lot of pieces when she just does anything. And figuring out how to make a new design work with already existing animations is one of the duties of tech art.
Yeah.
And that is also
'Cause,
that
like,
also applies
she
to
already
VFX,
slides in
that
game, so how
when
does the
we're
sliding
working on something
affect
that already exists, we
how
want to
the
make
pieces
something that
move?
looks new, that looks fresh, but it's still clear to players on like what exactly it
Because
is.
clearly her hair is
That's what
going to move
makes Sojourn
differently.
fun because of the kind of cyborg fantasy she has. So there's a lot of moving parts when she does her slide ability. It just
Yes.
these jets open up, and I think the VFX, especially in the Mythic skin, showcase this very well. How
Yeah.
agile she is and the
Totally.
speed she has in the game. That's Cyber Warrior.
Yeah.
Cyber
So
Warrior,
Ultraviolet
yeah.
Sentinel.
Ultraviolet Sentinel.
So the fifth step would be tech art, which we're talking about now, which I am a tech artist. I didn't personally work on this skin. Shout out John Curran, who worked on the skin. Shout out John.
Can you
But-
explain really quickly, a tech artist, what you're
Oh
normally
yes,
do?
yes. Sorry. So tech art in Team 4 in the Overwatch team is kind of a combination of a bunch of different disciplines condensed into one. In few words, we do something that is called rigging. We do simulation. We do game implementation. We do a little scripting, and we do a little of a bunch of other things. When it comes to Mythics, we take the 3D model that we get from the modeling team, and then we put it in the game. That's kind of the fewest words that I can explain.
Yeah.
Like I said before, like a minute ago, one of our responsibilities is making sure that what we get from the modeling team works with everything else that exists already within the game. So if you think of skins, you are still playing the character. Like when you select Sojourn, you are playing Sojourn, right? When you select the Mythic of Sojourn, you're still playing Sojourn.
Right.
So the animations of her abilities are going to be the same regardless of whether you pick another skin, if you pick the Mythic, or if you pick, the regular skins, whatever else. So what we have to do as tech artists is that we have to take the new models that we get from the modeling team. When we put it into the game, we see in 3D what works and what doesn't. A good
also
kind
tweak
of very
the
broad example of
animations.
this would be like, let me think. So if this Mythic's gasp. If this Mythic
I was like, I didn't do that.
in the concept, say a very big shoulder pad on one of the sides of the body, if it somehow made it through the filters of concept art and modeling and everything else, when we put it in the game, when tech art puts it in the game, we would pretty much very quickly notice that shoulder pad might be clipping into her head, which is something
Yeah.
that we definitely don't want. So all these filters of what things we want to have on skins and what we don't want to have on skins
Ooh, look
is
at
something
that.
that concept art is very much aware of, modeling is very much aware of, and we have guidelines on, what things work on heroes and what doesn't work on heroes. But if there is like a chance of something going through, then we are the ones to call it out. So for Sojourn, what Megan was talking about is that she has, on both of her arms actually, pieces that open and close and move a lot together. If those pieces aren't kind of built in a specific way, then when they move around, they might not look good. It might look like they're kind of clipping into each other or just not working at all, especially I think on first
guy likes
person
to
on
reload a
her
lot.
E ability. I'm really bad at remembering like names of abilities. We just call them like shift or E.
It's her damage grenade.
yeah, the damage grenade, thank you. So on her
damage
damage
grenade.
grenade, her hand kind of like opens downwards.
Did she say
and then
hope
like
shines
it,
now?
Like, it shoots out, right? If those panels don't slot correctly in the model, then when they are actually moving, then you'll notice that they're not slotting correctly.
Right.
Which the less you notice, on a new skin, the less you notice something is wrong, the better. Which is why we kind of put so much time into, on the tech art side, that like when you have a new design like the Mythic, we want to sell the fantasy of this is a new thing that we're doing, this is a new design, this is a new idea, but it also has to work with everything else that we already have. Yeah, that's kind of the rundown of tech art. Something cool also that we or that John did for this skin is that on her third person you can see kind of some wisps, like wispy thingies on the back. Those are very interesting tech, actually. It's interesting, but it's also extremely common. They're actually cloth. It's the same tech that we use for
like a scarf or
like scarves or capes, skirts.
I called it.
We use a lot of the tech that we have for specific things.
Just like the
we
Tracy
found
skin.
ways to use them for other completely different things.
Which is
as
great.
long as it looks cool, as long as it works, as long as it doesn't break anything, then we use it.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can solve
So
a
they
lot of
pretty much
issues
just
that
change the textures of
could
those.
be like a problem if we have like a shoulder pad thing. We could use some tech art magic to make sure that that shoulder pad doesn't clip into the head. So the things that Sojourn has on her back are very long pieces of cloth that are influenced by like invisible wind. So that's why they do kind of this. They float a little bit and
they
follow
always
around.
move whether there's wind or
Exactly,
not. Right? Yeah.
exactly. They have kind of something called like self-wind. So we have like the cloth here. We set kind of where the wind is coming from, which would be like maybe over here. It pushes on this direction and maybe to the side or maybe up. Yeah, those wispy little things. Thank you, Katie. Shout out, Katie. They kind of move. They're always moving kind of in a very cool way, even when you're moving around and jumping around. So yeah, that's a little bit of tech art magic. Yeah.
And it's cool to what you mentioned. People may not know, our maps have wind in them. There's a direction that wind comes from, so it causes things to blow, like our flags and or
See, and all these
cloth
animations
or
are the
fabrics
same,
that
but
are
it's
inside
also
a map. And so
understanding
it's cool
how
that tech art can kind of
those
override
new
the
elements affect
world's
those
wind
animations that
to
are
make
existing
something
in the
like
game. So
her kind of a ethereal scarf
Yeah, totally.
blow in its own direction. It gives it this kind of a unique look.
Tech art works very closely with modeling and also concept, because what we that little guy was trying to go through. Oh my God. Whatever we say yes to is what eventually kind of goes into. Oh, that's perfect.
Those are my favorite emote.
What we say yes to eventually goes into.
But see how the hair is realistic? It's going through her own hair, which is funny, but actually is like
but
falling over.
I think before
like
going
how
into
gravity would
VFX,
work.
we can
Like, that's
talk
what's so
about
great.
animation, which I think the coolest part
Her hair
about
normally
her,
doesn't do that.
and something that I learned about like 2 days ago from Angelica, was something cool in the hero select. If we could kind of see the hero select, if that's cool. But now we will be jumping into animation, and as we kind of load it up, we can kind of give a little more context for this. So for every mythic hero that we have, or for every mythic skin that we have, we make a unique hero select for kind of following the theme. Do you kind of like how is that ideated? Like how do you decide what to go for the hero select animation?
Generally, it's another one that we send out to the team. But the baseline idea is to showcase something unique about the Mythic.
New changes.
In this case, you're seeing the very cool VFX on her railgun.
Because it shows DPS there, and then it also
you get a little
shows
glimpse of
like some type
seeing
of
the
level.
full body, the torso at least of the character. It doesn't cover it too much. So, generally, the animators come up with an idea that against the fantasy of the hero. So, in this case, it was a lot of her cybernetic VFX or the cool pearlescent armor, so we wanted to be able to have that very visible when you see her in her hero select, and then she settles into her.
Isn't that just the default one though?
But this one, there's another one that's not really set. It's just we look for ideas across the team, and whatever jumps out, we start to do.
Yeah, totally. So Angelica, you mentioned something that you did specifically for this hero select. Can you kind of just go into more detail about that?
Yeah. So when we got into the hero select, I had noticed after I put my effects in, after she puts her gun in her hands, my effects would turn off. And the reason for that is because originally there wasn't, so animation has, in the most simplest terms, and I'm also sorry if I like get any of this wrong. I am not an animator. This is just my basic bare understanding. But maybe eventually we'll have an animator on here that can go more in depth. But animations have intros, loops, and outros, and they also have fidgets. And what she's doing right now, I believe, is a fidget.
Yeah, where she does the little
the
movement.
Hero Select animation didn't have a fidget or like this like loop for her to keep
To settle.
to settle on.
Yeah.
And so when she
makes
starts, the Hero Select starts and she like charges up her gun. When she is about to put it in her hand, my VFX turned off. And so I had to ask about it. I was like, hey, like, could we add something so that the effects can keep staying on? And the animation was like, yeah, that's easy, we'll do it. And they added in the fidget for the weapon and for her. So her weapon has a fidget animation and Sojourn has a fidget animation. And so that worked a little bit because then when she put her gun in her hand, my effects did somewhat stay on, but like in the frame where for like a few frames after she puts the gun in her hand, the effects just turned off and then turned back on, and then it would go into this. And then it would turn off and turn on and turn off and turn on. And I was like, okay, how do we solve this? This is a pretty common issue we have with animation and VFX, where the effects don't continuously loop like this. But we wanted
is a
to
good
make
thing
this
that they
work
noticed that type of
really
stuff.
badly because like her railgun is like
It's just a big part of her.
it's right
absolutely.
there. And also, what is Sojourn without her railgun? And we don't always get to show off the weapon in the Hero Select. So we were like, well, we need to like figure this out. Like, we really want to have the VFX on there. And so engineering, shout out engineering, had to. I'm not an engineer either, so I actually don't know the technical term of like exactly what they did, but to me, it's like they jerry-rigged a way for the effects to stay on. Like, long story short, this was like a few weeks of back and forth of trying to get this to work. So, but they figured out a way to like keep the effects on completely through the animation. So like when she charges up her railgun, and then she like puts it in her hand, the effects do not turn off on her gun. And it just like really made the Hero Select. I don't think it would have been as awesome without it.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really proud of how this turned out. She just looks so awesome and heroic and cool, and like it just, yeah. Really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think this is a very special moment for you, Angelica, because we're going to the next step, which is VFX.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm
All
so
right.
excited to talk about
So
VFX.
please nerd out about it.
Okay.
So what can you tell me about something cool that you worked on? I mean, all this
On
is
top
very
of
cool.
what
Yeah.
you
But like
Yeah.
anything, what do you want to say about this?
Well, I worked on her entire kit, from her abilities to her gun to her ambient.
Primary fire.
Yeah. My lead worked on the shader for her cape and her collar.
Yeah, those are pretty
but-
difficult.
Quick question: what's a shader?
A shader,
And like a simple.
the way that you are viewing this live stream, I believe, on your computer is because of a shader. Like, computers have shaders. Like, that's the reason why like displays can work like on your computer. But like for us, like it just shaders are this. It's like black magic a little bit.
Put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Shader is basically the materials in the game.
Yeah, it's the materials in
It
the
makes things
game.
feel like jeans. It makes things feel like leather. It makes things feel pearlescent
Yeah.
or ethereal, like these.
Yeah, they're just ways
VFX.
for us to push our effects. But yeah, they are also like extremely technical and like you know it's the reason why like games even run to begin with. But what was I saying?
You were talking about. Sorry, I think I derailed it slightly by asking what a shader is. We're talking about the effects.
Your lead was working on the collar. And
Yeah. But other than the collar and the coattails and stuff, I touched her entire kit. And so I start with looking at the concepts. I don't think we have a screenshot of Angela's VFX concepts. If we do, are we able to pull that up? If not, it's completely okay. I'll just I can use my words. But
what inspiration you drove some of the ideas?
Yeah, like sci-fi, like what is it? Like art. Oh, yes, this is perfect. Yes.
Oh my gosh, we do have it. Yay!
Yay! I don't have to use.
I don't have to talk as much.
I don't have to describe it. You can see it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So this is what I first saw when everything was said and done, and like this is perfect. It's amazing that VFX gets concepts to begin with. A lot of the times, VFX kind of just has to
wing it.
We have to wing it a little bit. So when concept has the time to give us concepts like this, like we're so grateful, and because it gives us a good baseline to jump off on and like keep developing her kit. And so when we do Mythic VFX, we want to start with like the thing that you're going to see the most impact in her out of all of her abilities. And for us, that was the disruptor shot. And so that was the first ability I worked on. And you can see that it's very graphic, it's very 2D, it's very flat. It's very like sci-fi HUD, like HUD, like it's and so when I went in, that's what I first started out with. I made these textures that pretty much replicated what Angela did.
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
Once it was in game, we realized it was a little too flat. And we like to be able to flesh, like we like to have our effects feel.
They have volume.
Volume, they have volume. And so instead of having a flat texture, facing the player, I instead made rings. I modeled out a ring in the similar shape as the concept, and I just ended up like moving them up and down. Like once we go back into game, it'll be a little bit easier for me to explain. But yeah, like when I said earlier about the two-toned, like you could see it especially in the abilities, like that pink and blue, like graphic two-tone colors. We haven't done something like that before, and so I was really excited to try to push that with her kit. But yeah, oh no!
I saw that coming.
You just stare at the when you come back and you stare at just the disruptor shot.
Yeah, we could throw the disruptor shot.
That thing is so
okay, yeah.
cool.
So this is a really, really perfect example of, at least in VFX,
it also kind of looks like a Zarya graph.
Because once it's an engine, it can look completely different. And so, we are free to make it work however we need to. And so that's what I did. I have the rings going up and down, rotating at the same time, and they have somewhat some speed to them, to make them feel a little dangerous. Like this is a very, this ability is supposed to damage enemies over time, and like you want to make it look like you don't want to go in it.
Exactly.
And so on top of the rings, I used this. It's a tool we have for VFX called an attractor. If you want to throw the disruptor shot like somewhat close to Sojourn, it's a little bit easier to see. Like I have all of these motes that are like swimming around like kind of viciously.
Yeah, that's what that purple ball thing is.
I really wanted to sell like this is a dangerous ability. But
I love that about the VFX in general in the game. They look. If it's not safe to be in it, you guys do a great job of. Don't step into this thing.
Yeah, because even though
I can see the blue getting lost sometimes on some maps, but
like we're taking the base kit
her
and
normal
making
thing
it
looks like.
a Mythic.
I mean, you'd probably be a lot easier to see
we
when she
have
shoots
to
it.
stick to gameplay because gameplay's king. The players need to know what's going on still.
Yep.
And the lines for that have blurred a bit the more we work on Mythics, but overall, like gameplay is king.
Yeah.
And like I also, if you throw it on the ground again, I also designed a new decal for it. So like the decal, I wanted to try to incorporate some of Angela's graphicness, like the graphic part of the concept that she did. So I put that in the decal.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, when you're inside of it, it's not as distracting
this,
either. Like,
this,
so you can actually go in there.
What is it? This cool warbly like distortion texture that's going on, like going inwards. Just to like it, to make the effect feel more sci-fi, more like cybernetic. But this took a lot of iteration. It took a while. Effects,
I can see that. It could
there's
take
no
a
such
long
thing
time
as a
for that.
simple effect.
Yeah.
VFX is a very complicated process, and especially when you have gameplay to think about, like there's just so much to have to balance. And I had to balance like what if a player is like in it, like how busy does it look? And
Exactly.
so when that happens, we use this thing called LODs, which are called so they're level of detail, yeah. And so the level of detail allows it so that the player doesn't have so much noise in their face. It's another thing that like we're pretty big on with Overwatch, is that the players,
there's already so much stuff happening. Vision is very important.
Disrupted in any way. Like you want to be able to see what you're shooting at.
Yep.
But if you see it from far away, you see all those small little details, all those little motes.
Oh, that's cool.
And but yeah, and then so after the disruptor shot, I moved on to her charge shot, I believe. This is where I really got to go crazy with like the graphicness, like being able to bring back that graphic feeling that Angela designed, because those VFX, the muzzle flashes are right in your face, so like having it be flat wasn't so much of an issue. And if anything, it just really, really like sold this clean graphic feel. Like it was really fun to do the disruptor shot in the rings. I also changed her the projectile, I believe, but it's kind of hard to see in first person.
You can see it, the little circles on the projectile.
But and then her primary, I made the primary try to fit the concept as close as possible to like where she's just shooting. The spikes that come out, like I used a few different textures to make them feel even more graphic than the base did. Yeah. I think that's the theme of this. It was graphic, it was clean, and yeah, you want to feel like you're powerful. And like when I got
looks really good on a shield when you're shooting the shield.
I really tried to push it as much as I could with these flares, and like
the bot's
I
like,
pushed
excuse me, ma'am.
The lights, like
this is my walking spot.
These things called point lights, and
I love it.
Point lights. So
we
like
love point lights.
the light that you see that's like kind of on the side of her gun on the left, that's like shining, like that's called a point light. And I tried pushing those a little bit more because it would make sense that this gun would be pretty glowy.
Yeah.
I think at some point during the development of her kit, one of my leads was like, this kit is glowy enough. This gun is glowing.
No, I think we needed more point lights, actually.
I do too. I'm always an advocate for more point lights. Yeah, and then another thing we did was that we...
Also, I wonder how it looks
This is a very small thing, but like we changed the material on her gun when she ults. You notice that there's this like Fresnel. So a Fresnel is like it's almost like when it's like backlit, it's like a glowiness on the edges of something.
I think they want that too.
So we did that, and we also added a gradient. And you would see it in Angela's concept that was there, and we really wanted to try to. We wanted, on the barrel of the gun where like the sharp edges are on the front.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so we wanted to add that in, and so we put that in, and then there's a Fresnel all over the gun, just to really make you feel like this gun's is supercharged, and Sojourn's about to kill you in one shot, like as Sojourn players do.
Nighttime maps, just
I
great.
bet, yeah.
I gotta say, as a small support main, sometimes I play supports that don't move a lot. Hearing like railgun charged in the background, I'm like, it's over, dude.
It's over.
Cooked. I am cooked.
Yeah, I wanted Sojourn players just to feel like the fantasy, hero fantasy that we were trying to make for Sojourn.
All right, give us more stuff, and
like I really like my favorite little detail is like when she does her charge shot. Like if you like after you do the charge shot and you move, you can kind of see like the rings around the projectile. Like it just feels really nice. Like I love pinks and I love blues. Like so this was the color palette for this kit was just like super fun for me. And it was
A very techie magical girl almost.
Almost techie magical girl.
Techie
or cyberpunk.
Yeah, cyberpunk techie magical girl.
Yeah.
Who's just a cool
Yeah, something else I changed was when she slides, her slide ability. So if you like want to slide around the map, and it would be, yeah. So like if you want to keep, you can look down too when you're sliding. That's going to be the easiest way to be able to tell. But
yeah,
I ended up changing like quite a bit. Like it's also just as graphic. I have like the same, like the ring textures on the muzzle flash. Like those are also on the slide. It's almost like they're charging up like as she's sliding.
It's hard to see here, but in third person, it looks awesome.
Yeah,
third person's probably gonna be a lot better.
Yeah, the slide is funny because like you don't. I think players don't even really notice the slide because of just the way that the camera is, the way the animation's set up. Like you don't really see it that much, but it does for us. Like it doesn't matter if you see it a lot or not. Like it's one of those fun things that we like to do for the players that will notice and they're like, oh my god, this got changed.
Yeah.
Which I think it's cool that we're doing these kinds of things because there's sometimes a lot of stuff that we make and we work on that we would love for players to notice, but sometimes it's not.
Sometimes.
Yeah, like
a few people do.
Yeah, a few people do. It's shout out to those people. But like these little things I just love seeing. We share a lot of progress of Mythics and stuff on channels, and it's always us. Since we stare at this all day for weeks, for months, it's like, oh, like this little tiny little things change, which I love. I have a question, Angelica, actually.
Yes.
So when you work on such a big change for effects, are the effects on first person and third person different, or are they kind of like the same thing?
Very good question.
I feel like
Thank you.
They showed off a gun
and no.
and a character and
first person.
didn't go through all these like 8 steps.
Like they are pretty much the
better.
same one-to-one. However,
as
third person can differ from first person. Some elements in Sojourn's third person aren't in her first person in her ult because it would just be too busy on screen. So remember when I said that we try to keep the shooting space, like this view, as clean as possible because we want you to see what you're shooting. So we have to really balance what we decide to keep as with our effects and like how busy we want that to be. But we can get away with having some of those busier elements in third person because in third person, like it doesn't really obscure your vision or disrupt your playing. But yeah, so yes and no. A lot of the times, if it is one-to-one, the third person VFX are bigger. So that way players, your friendly team can see it happening.
Yeah, it telegraphs it better.
It telegraphs it better. But yeah, trying to think of what else.
Something interesting, just in general, of almost all of our heroes is that in first person, what you see of your character is different than what you would see in third person.
Yeah,
because like sometimes when you are looking, when you are looking somewhere, like you're looking straight ahead towards the reticle or whatever you're aiming, you want whatever your character is holding as a weapon to kind of also make your eyes follow that direction, right? Mm-hmm. So Sojourn's weapon is aimed towards the middle, right?
Yeah.
But then we have other characters that, like, we were talking about a bunch of characters.
Ron has a hammer,
but maybe they have their weapon kind of aimed here in first person, but then maybe in third person they have it so that they have a more clear silhouette, right? So like following silhouette even on big changes on first person and also third person is pretty important. Was there any other like specific call outs that you had to make, Angelica, on the VFX to make sure that, I don't know, that they weren't too bright or too loud?
I would say like I was allowed to go pretty loud with this. I mean, you can tell with
Just
the
go
gun,
crazy.
it's just super glowy. Like, because like I said, there's a fine line now between like how much we want to push it versus how much we need to keep for gameplay purposes. I think a good example of that actually is Juno's hyper beam. So in Juno's view,
Mythic Juno.
Sorry, yeah, Doki Watch Juno, and
Shout out Doki Watch.
That thing is pretty
her
bright.
hyper beam, the middle is pink. It's just like this really girly pop, like magical pink yellow beam. But we got feedback from gameplay from Alec Dawson, as you all know.
Shout out Alec.
He was like, "Hey, so for the other people on the team, Juno's her hyper beam needs to be blue to show that it's giving you I think it's damage boost or like
I think it's like healing and damage boost.
Yeah, and so we call it like 3P remote is what your team is seeing, whereas like first person and third person local is what you, the hero, are seeing, like you, the player. So in 3P remote, I ended up changing the hyper beam to have a bluish purple tint instead of a pink and yellow tint. So that's something that I had to keep in mind because that is such a big gameplay read that, but we were able to compromise. Like Juno sees it and that's all that matters. Like the fantasy is Juno. In this case, I would say that the thing that I would have to go back to the damage grenade because originally I didn't have a lot of the elements going inwards anymore. Whereas the original base grenade, like everything's going inwards. It's like it's pulling you in and damaging you when you go into it.
Too much.
And so I had to keep some of those elements still. And when I was making it, and I kind of got away with it by like scrolling the noise inwards. So like
that's cool.
So there's like like this shell, like this cloudy noise shell that when you throw the grenade, like I have that scrolling inwards still. The motes, like I said, the little square bits are like also like they're going up, but some of them I think are going in. And then also the decal on the ground, I have it like squishing in as well, just to kind of help keep that gameplay read that was in the base.
Show us something else.
It just depends.
And when you're finalizing VFX, and you're dealing with how bright or dark, like
there was a bot that was killed. I didn't even notice that.
Do you jump around to various maps with different time of day and?
We do, yeah. So it's kind of a fun running joke because me and a few other of the VFX artists like to work in Sunset Rome.
Okay. Yes.
And we'll stay in there. And the problem with that is that like you need to test your effects on other maps, but like Sunset Rome is like looks so good.
It's like
it's such a beautiful.
It makes everything look so good.
I want to live there.
And so if we want to be like, oh wow, we did such a great job, we go to a nighttime map, like any nighttime map. Like Sojourn shines at night. If we want to cry, we go to Ilios or any other bright map because, or you know, even the Toronto map behind us.
Even this Toronto.
Yeah, it's beautiful but super super bright, and so when that happens, we need to adjust a little bit and just find a good middle ground.
Because like what works on one map has to work on like everywhere else, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and like of course there's going to be some discrepancies. Like I don't mean to bring it back to Doki Watch Juno, but she's just shout out Doki Watch. She just has a lot of good examples of this rather than Sojourn, where like some of Mythic Juno's effects were like really bright yellow, and like it had this beautiful like yellow ochre gold and like, you know, the more like Sunset Rome, but on Ilios it's just bright yellow. And I couldn't fix that. Like there's just no fixing that, it's yellow.
It looks nice everywhere else. So,
yeah.
You know, maybe.
So, you know, you win some, you lose some, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean that's what's gonna happen. Like,
because that's a part many may not realize that, but gameplay first is something that we think about a lot even when creating art. So VFX is kind of an extension of the UI. It teaches the players what's dangerous, what's safe. Am I using this ability? Has it exhausted? When has it refreshed? So these are all the things you guys are dealing with when creating the VFX. And then we ask you to make it look cool at the same time. You know?
Yeah. I think I think I have a nicer time on Mythics because everything's already done for me. Like all the effect, like all the abilities
layer,
and all the base abilities are done. So I just get to make it look really like prettier than they already are and like, fit the theme. But you know, you still have to fit gameplay into that. But yeah, you have to juggle a lot. But honestly, it's really fun because you come up with these creative solutions, and like when you don't have a lot to work with, it's like that's when like the most
they're
fun
yapping
ideas
so much.
like
Yeah.
come.
And with Mythics, that you can just change pretty much everything of her kit. You can just go crazy.
Yeah, that's what we do. We change everything because we want to make it worth it to the player, and we want you to feel cool.
Yeah,
like
dude,
Mythics are cool.
Look
Mythics
at how much
awesome.
it lights up in the ult. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
no, it's very glowy. It's a glowy gun.
It's a very glowy gun.
But yeah, no, I want to also come back to us saying that, you know, we started Sojourn in October. I started Sojourn, VFX got Sojourn in March. And I was working on her for, I think, about 4 months, which is like, that was just the way that it went. Sojourn has a very complex kit.
4 months for this
and
VH
this stuff takes a while. Like I'm constantly asking for feedback every day. Everything is very iterative.
And the hero select thing too. Right?
The hero select took a while because of having to go back and forth with engineering and animation and like getting it to look right. Like we haven't done something like that before, which is you run into that a lot in game development.
Kind of building the railroad as you're on the train.
You're building the railroad as you go.
Yeah.
Overall, like, you know, everything turned out great with her. Like, I'm super happy with how she turned out. The team did amazing. It takes a city.
Yes, literally.
It takes a city to make a city.
To make a city, yeah. But yeah.
Totally. Yeah, no, amazing. I mean, it's also good to note that every Mythic has had very different little challenges to overcome.
It's the nature of Overwatch, right?
It's the nature of Overwatch.
It's the nature of all games.
It's the nature of all games, really.
It's the same.
Yeah, all of our characters are so different, and they are set up in such a different way that even, you know, new heroes and legacy heroes, they all have little quirks of just how they're made. It's not to say that they are set up wrong, because that is not it at all. They're set up how they're supposed to be set up. But Mythics it's kind of like you have a machine and you have all the cables connected correctly, right? And that's how it's supposed to be. When you add a Mythic to a character, you add a bunch more cables to that machine, and you have to disconnect and reconnect a bunch of cables so that it works properly. And sometimes those cables can get a little tangled up. And then we need support from our engineer friends, which again, shout out engineering. Without you guys, we would not be able to do anything.
This was not the first time I've needed engineering's help on a Mythic.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yeah, we have required a lot of support from our buddies. So again, I've said shout out like 15 times. I don't care. Shout out engineering.
Yes.
But yeah, maybe sometimes some Mythics take a little more time in some steps than others, just from the nature of figuring out how things work. And, you know, maybe one takes a little more time in concept, maybe one takes a little more time in modeling, maybe one needs a lot more support from, you know, the engineering and the tools team than others, just from how they're set up. And sometimes we have to go back, sometimes we have to go forward. Sometimes VFX starts a little bit before other steps do. Sometimes ideation has to go back from the, you know, maybe a tiny little bit. We try not to do that. We've, you know, streamlined the process a lot after 18 Mythics, I guess, at this point. 18 Mythics that we've released at this point. But it's always just a lot of fun, and it's always just new things to find and explore. And whenever we get the chance to do something new, like with Sojourn, we just take the chance and just go bonkers with it, just go crazy.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to highlight too with this skin specifically that I missed on when we were talking about the concept and the modeling. No hurry in this, but if we could go back to the hero gallery and we could see the 3 options of hairstyles that we have. From the beginning when we saw like, the iterations and the ideations for the concept, like the different hairstyles, I got immediately incredibly excited. You know, obviously textured hairstyle is something very near and dear to my heart. And when we get the chance to do, you know, such cool hairstyles for such a cool character like Sojourn, I was like, we have to make this, you know, the best that we could. And when we get that on the screen, I think we can go into a little more detail. Yeah, so I think the third hairstyle might be like my absolute favorite.
I like the first one the most.
It's just so cool.
That's a weird face mask.
Angela did an incredible job with exploring these kinds of cool modern hairstyles for this amazing black character, for Sojourn, Vivian Chase, my goat. And Megan did such an incredible job with just the model.
Shout out Megan.
Shout out Megan.
She did so good on the hair.
Yeah.
And hair is not easy to model or sculpt.
Yeah, hair. Yeah, any 3D modeler will tell you that hair is not easy.
It's still great hair.
Yeah.
And
I'll give her that.
It's just so.
I'm more of a fan of the first
cool.
one.
Like it's just so beautiful and.
I love the black color, the black armor. It changes her hair to white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's really cool. I think this one might be my favorite colorway too,
Yeah.
which isn't usually the case with the Mythics. I like the more pinkish and like girly pop colorways, but I think this one is like my favorite. It's just so
purple,
good.
black, the white accent on the hair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just so cool. I wanted to shout that out before going to the last step. I just love it. I really like it. It's so cool.
This is fun color too.
I like
it's
the
such
rose
a cool
gold.
color too. She's just so dope. She's just a cool character. Face card has never declined in her entire life.
No.
Hair, like on point. Absolutely. Like she's just so beautiful and cool.
Can I yap a little about colors?
Sure, go for it.
When we get to this point in the process for VFX, this is the character ambient. This is usually like where like us as the artist can kind of like relax a little bit because it's ambient. Like it's the more like okay, how do I really plus this model? Like it just like add even more awesomeness to it.
Show us the other armor.
And this is the most fun I've had for colors, I think. I just really had such a great time trying to mix in like these pinks and blues and yellows. Like the yellow is this like really hot core of this of the flare, and then you have like the pink like just highlighting it, and then you go to the red colorway real quick. Like I'm a little bit of a nerd about color, and like I was able to push the purples using like these reds, like these really rich reds, like we don't usually get to do. And are we allowed to see the
I think that's all that we can see right now.
Okay. Yeah. You guys will see it.
Yeah, super cool.
But I loved doing the colors for this. It was just so much fun.
Yeah. I think then as like the second to last step technically, I don't think we can really hear
sound design.
Yes, sorry. I was trying to remember exactly what I was going to say about the sound design. I don't think we can quite hear exactly, but Brian Weirs, shout out Brian.
Shout out Brian.
Shout out Brian Weirs. Honestly, whenever I see anything that the sound designers do on like anything, I genuinely don't understand.
It's
I
black
genuinely
magic.
don't understand how it's done. Like so many times when we get to see kind of like a little bit behind the scenes of sound design, it's like, oh yeah, like I found this like car part that was left in the sidewalk. And then I brought it home and then I smacked it with like this flute that I bought in Peru. And then it made this cool sci-fi
This cool
sound.
sci-fi.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm like, how does that
sound.
work, man? How does that work? So we do have a little video that we will be playing maybe at the end from Brian Weir, shout out Brian, that I think is going to be super cool. But I have a little blurb to kind of, a little pre to what you guys will actually hear in game. So let's see. Basically, when seeing the type of light energy shown in the concept art, my mind first went to synthwave and EDM type of music. The colors and particles really made me get a tonal and musical vibe, which I wanted to shine through in the sound design. So it really was a lot of synthesizers being put through different plugins to distort them and create new, unique sounds. Oh, wow. Those are a lot of words, and it just sounds very, very incredible and super cool. She sounds so cool. Like by default, Sojourn already sounds so much cooler, and I wish I could do justice to how actually super cool and like EDM-y techy she sounds, but you'll just have to see it in game. I realize that I've said shout out to like 25 different people, so I think maybe just like this could be like the dev shout out stream. I'll just be shout out Eric. That's Murphy. Shout out Murphy that fell. Shout out Eric. Shout out Dion, shout out Angelica, shout out Katie that's behind.
Shout out Anna.
Shout out me.
Yeah.
Shout out me.
Anna Martinez.
Shout out me. Shout out the host.
Martinez show.
Yeah.
It's my show now, dude. It's my show now. Wait, let me pick up Murphy. Should I?
He's all right. He'll
Okay.
be fine.
Should be fine. But yeah, I can't really speak much of sound design because it's just a whole another thing for me. But hopefully we can show like the video at the end. And then that's
Murphy's back.
She rose from the death. Now she's here. But yeah, and the last step would be polish and QA, which is again quality assurance. Shout out QA. This step is just for pretty much every department to just go in and make sure that everything is as clean as possible. Yeah. This is a stage where we go in and make sure that there's that we deal with as many little bugs and little
nothing
errors.
Looks broken.
Nothing looks broken. Everything can be
You try to break
selectable
it.
and just looks fine. Every single department goes through like a polish and QA and just bug fix and face.
We would not have a game without QA.
We would not have a game without QA. Honestly, they saved our lives so many times throughout the years, just finding things that we would never have thought of. But you know, so many people play the game in such different ways that we would
Exactly.
we are so focused on our own departments that we would not think that, you know, what if you slide into this wall as Sojourn, and then suddenly, if you have the Mythic skin specifically equipped, if you slide into that specific wall, then you suddenly clip through it. Why does that happen? I mean, I don't know, but they found it somehow, which, you know, wow, that's amazing. So thank you, QA. But yeah, I think that was from the beginning to end.
Problem isn't the reason why
art
it happens. The problem is
how to make
it
them
shouldn't
epic.
be happening to begin with.
And it
then
still
you
feels
find out
like
the
just a very
reason.
surface level.
Yeah.
Like, we tried going as in-depth as possible, but
there's a lot of things that we
there's so
can't really
much.
talk about, but yeah, there's so much.
And every Mythic is different, too.
And I love there's so many passionate people on the team that hopefully people can see how much effort by everyone on the team, but our guys, they deep dive it, they nerd it up.
We're here.
We just,
We're here. We just
Yeah.
love to hype each other up and nerd out about art.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Which is, again, like I said at the beginning, why we were so excited about something like this, that we just get to sit down and talk about just art.
and we're going
in
to share
general.
more too, right?
Yeah, we would, you know, share more. But I think that is pretty much everything, almost everything, most things, some things that we wanted to talk about today. Now that I think we can officially approach the closing up of the stream.
Yay,
Anything else that
finally.
you guys want to add? As kind of a closing
Let's see the
statement,
Mythic weapon.
something-
Let's do another hour.
well wishes or something that you just forgot to add.
Thank you for playing our game.
Yeah.
And we hope that you enjoy and love Mythic Sojourn just as much as we do.
Same. And congrats on the team, another Mythic in the season 18, right?
Season 18.
Yeah, so
It's been 18
it's
seasons.
very fun to work on this one, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for sticking around for however long we've been talking. If you're just joining in, I'm sorry, we're wrapping up. You were kind of a little late, but hopefully you can see the replay when we're done. But yeah, you know, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for thanking me. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this live stream. We really want to make more of these, and we will be making more of these. So let us know what other topics you want us to cover. There are a lot of people that love talking about the things that they do on the team, and we would love to just sit down and chat in this way. So yeah, just let us know. Send some love to the stream. Send some love to your friendly neighborhood game developer, and just I hope you have fun at playing the game and stuff.
Yeah.
So now some quick PSAs, and now that we're closing up. Season 18 starts on August 26th. Sorry, just double checking. Season 18 kicks off on August 26th, and Mythic Sojourn will be available on that same day, August 26th. So look out for that. It's only a couple weeks away. Time goes by very fast.
Right.
Also, keep a lookout for tomorrow's Director's Take from our very own Alec Dawson. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Speaking of Alec, he's going to be at EVO competing in Street Fighter this weekend.
A
So
few people there, too.
yeah, there is going to be a lot of people. So if you see him, shout out Alec, shout out Team 4. That's going to be.
That's funny.
I should. should I just stop shouting out people?
No, shout out the whole team.
Shout out Team 4, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
shout out Team 4. Shout out Alex, who's gonna be competing at Street Fighter. Best of luck. Kick butt. You're gonna do great. Actually, there's gonna be another live stream coming up on August 14. I think that's gonna be a pretty cool one because we're gonna be talking about our very new support hero, Wu Yang.
Yeah.
I think.
AKA Aqua.
AKA Aqua. If we call him
one.
Aqua, please. Sorry, we've been calling him Aqua for a really long time.
Aqua.
We all just as a little side note, we have code names for heroes for most of development. Usually it's like 4 words, like 4 letters internally, but we call them a certain way, and then we get kind of like the actual name once the lore is developed. And Wu Yang has been Aqua for like 80% of his life, so it's like, oh yeah, it's Aqua, so it's gonna be the Aqua live stream.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be talking about Aqua on August 14th, so don't miss it. And I think that is it.
I didn't even know there was going to be a
Oh
stream
yes,
today,
well
so.
the audio video will play once we are actually saying goodbye, but now I think we are done with everything that we wanted to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Now we gotta listen to the
Hope
audio.
you guys all left nice comments. We can't read chat, so hopefully it's all nice. Hopefully it's all nice today. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed today's deep dive. Let us know what you want to hear more on the next one. And on August 26th, don't forget, Season 18, August 14, Aqua live stream. And that's it. And we'll see you in game.
Bye-bye.
There's the sound. Hope China has now. Jeez. Holy cow. These are basically all stacked on top of each other. Wow. So cool. That's awesome. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching.